The day was growing late and evening was coming to Animal Town. The yellow sun was sinking down in a clear blue sky. Shadows were falling across the green meadow and the rushing river that flowed beside the town. If you haven't visited before, the first thing you need to know is that Animal Town is a lovely place. There are quiet streets made out of dirt, with a sprinkling of low grass growing along them. Beside those streets, there are neat rows of tall, leafy green trees. These trees are not just trees though, they are also homes. All the little woodland animals live in Animal Town with their families, but none of them live in houses like yours or mine. Instead, many of them live in tree homes. Those are the squirrels, birds, and other sorts of tree-dwelling animals who've made themselves lofty tree houses. The other animals live in cozy dens that they've dug into the ground beneath and around the trees. That's where the bunnies and other sorts of ground animals live. Animal children, animal parents, and even animal grandparents all live together in their tree houses and dens all around Animal Town. There's no pavement or concrete in the town at all. Everything is made from nature, from mud and stone, leaves and branches, grasses, and even flowers. There are neat dens dug into dirt, as I've said, and lovely tree houses built of sticks and leaves. There are clothes woven from soft grass and silky flower petals, and there are toys carved from wood or smooth stone. On one side of Animal Town flows a beautiful river, and on the other side lies a green meadow where flowers grow and berries ripen in the sun. Well, on this particular afternoon in Animal Town, the daylight was fading and nighttime was on its way. Shadows were getting longer all around the meadow, the river, and the leafy streets. The bunny children and squirrel children had been playing all afternoon with some other young animals in the green meadow. They had run around the meadow playing tag and football. They'd had jumping contests and running races. They'd picked bouquets of flowers and eaten berries straight off the bushes, and now they were all tired out. So, as the shadows fell and the meadow darkened and the warmth of the day cooled off into the freshness of evening, the animal children began to scurry home for their dinners. The 6 bunny children started off in the direction of their den, which lay under a big branching tree near the edge of Animal Town. There were the 3 sister bunnies and 3 brother bunnies who all lived together with their parent and grandparent bunnies. And the squirrel children started off beside their friends towards their home, high in the tree next door to the bunnies' den. There were 3 squirrel children, a big sister squirrel, a middle brother squirrel, and a baby sister. Though she didn't like to be called a baby. As they hurried off towards their homes, the bunny children and the squirrel children called out good night to their friends who lived in other parts of town. "Good night," they said to the beaver children who lived along the river on the other side of town. "Good night," they called to the bluebird children whose home was high up in a tree not far from the meadow. "Good night," they called to the furry fox babies who lived in a den deep in the ground beside the bluebird's tree. The bunnies and squirrel children waved goodbye to all their friends, and all their friends waved and called cheerfully back to them. And then they hurried off towards their own street near the edge of Animal Town. As they went, the bunnies and squirrels saw the little woodland creatures of Animal Town preparing for nighttime and rest overhead. Teacher Owl swooped through the darkness towards her perch high in a tall tree. "Good night, Teacher Owl," called the 9 bunny and squirrel friends. 9, you see, because 6 bunny children plus 3 squirrel children makes 9 in total. "Good night, children," Teacher Owl hooted back, her voice echoing gently around the leafy green trees. Just ahead, they saw Grandmother Raccoon calling to the baby raccoons to come inside and get washed before bedtime. "Good night, Grandmother Raccoon," the bunny children and squirrel children said politely. For their parents had taught them to be polite children, and most especially when they were speaking to an old person like Grandmother Raccoon. "Good night, babies," they added to the cute tiny baby raccoons. "Good night, bunnies and squirrels," replied Grandmother Raccoon in her friendly voice. "Good night, good night." The raccoon babies happily babbled in their tiny baby voices. A bit further along, old Mrs. Chipmunk was outside her den, taking down laundry that had been hanging on a line to dry in the afternoon sun. She was neatly folding the fresh, clean laundry, then placing it carefully into baskets made out of dried meadow grasses woven together. "Good night, Mrs. Chipmunk," the children cried out to her. Old Mrs. Chipmunk looked up and smiled at them. "What a lovely evening," she murmured. "Good night, dear children. Sleep well." Around the next corner, the bunnies and the squirrels came to their own street near the edge of Animal Town, and there was the bunny family's warm den beneath the wide branching tree. Inside, their mother, father, grandmother, and grandfather bunnies were waiting for them with a hot carrot pie. All ready for dinner. The sleepy bunnies hopped in eagerly, smelling the delicious pie and thinking happily of their comfortable beds. Next door, there was the squirrel family's leafy green tree. The tired squirrel children scurried up to their treehouse door. There, a thick acorn stew was waiting for them, steaming hot and smelling wonderful. The tired young squirrels climbed into their treehouse eagerly, hungry for the stew and thinking happily of their cozy beds. But before the bunnies closed the door to their warm den, they paused to call out good night to their squirrel friends. "Good night, squirrels," they called. And before the squirrels closed the door to their lofty treehouse, they stopped to call good night to their bunny friends. "Good night, bunnies," they called. Then they all closed their doors as the evening shadows darkened into night and the air grew cool and calm all around. The bunny children then washed their paws and ate their delicious carrot pie, chattering to their parents and grandparents about all the fun they'd had in the green meadow. And the squirrel children washed their paws too and ate their thick acorn stew, chattering about all the fun they'd had. Then the 6 bunny children and the 3 squirrel children all brushed their teeth, each in their own cozy home, of course. And afterwards they all went off to curl up in their snug beds, just like the small animals were doing all over Animal Town. Mr. Squirrel tucked in the big sister squirrel and the middle brother squirrel, and of course the little sister squirrel who was the baby of the family, though she never did like to be called that. He kissed them on their squirrel foreheads and tucked the soft blankets around them just as cozy as could be. Meanwhile, over in the next door den, the mother bunny and father bunny tucked in the 3 sister bunnies and the 3 brother bunnies, all snug under their blankets. When the bunny children were all settled and feeling so tired they could hardly keep their eyes open, the grandmother and grandfather bunny both came in to kiss their grandchildren bunnies too. "Good night, little ones," whispered Grandmother Bunny in a voice so quiet it was like a breeze tickling the air in the meadow where they played. And with that, the bunny children stopped trying to keep their eyes open. They drifted off into sleepy dreams, along with all the other little woodland animals right across Animal Town. The town was quiet then, and at peace with just the sound of a gentle sigh or the rustle of a small animal turning in their sleep here and there overhead. The stars sparkled in a sky as black as the blackberries ripening in the meadow. The sparkling stars twinkled and winked, silently watching over the sleeping town until morning.